The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to webinar number 35, the Contacts Portal with Payment Gateway Integration. My name is Wayne Barbaza. I'm the account manager for our end users. Joining me today will be Mike Mello. He is our in-house customization consultant, and he'll be available during the webinar to answer any questions that you may have. So just a few housekeeping items. Again, Mike Mello will be available to answer any questions that you may have during the webinar. And you can do so using the GoToMeeting panel, the question panel. And if you don't get a chance to ask any questions during the webinar, you can always post them on our forum and we'll address them there. And as always, the recording of the webinar will be posted on our website under the webinars section. So topics we'll be discussing today are you can now send an email from the invoice or estimate screen. And as far as the portals, there are two ways to get into the portal. One way is through a customer or a contact creating a login with their email address that you have on file for them. And the other way is directly accessing through our new MyURL links that would be sent in the emails that are sent when an invoice or an estimate or a case is created or updated. We'll go over viewing transactions and now being able to make payments online while in the portal. We'll go through asking a question online, editing customer account info, and lastly we'll go over the costs. Basically the first 500 sessions per month will be free, and we'll go over the details of that later. So to get started, just go into my method account here. And for the purposes of this demo, I'll just have you note that the email address I have on file for this particular customer, bestforyou customer, is this address right here, bestforyou.customer@gmail.com. So we'll go straight into the invoices screen, and I'll show you that one thing you'll see that was added recently is this checkbox here, email notification when saving. And you'll find the same thing in the estimate screen. So we'll go through an example. I'll select this customer. Select an invoice, item. And I'll leave this checked and go save an email. So as always, this will save the invoice or whatever transaction you're doing in method, and that will synchronize over to QuickBooks. But now from the customer's perspective, I see here I'm logged into my Gmail account for that customer. They will now get an email that looks like this. So this is notifying them of the invoice. They can now directly click on this link that would redirect them to the portal. And to verify, they would just have to enter in the email address that matches what you have for them on file. And it will take them directly to the Recent Transactions tab of the portal. So from here, it will they can now view directly the invoice that was in context when that email was sent. And they can view, as you can see here, they have a few invoices that are outstanding as well. So we can go ahead and view the invoice. And they can go through the details and verify that it's correct. They can choose to pay now, and if I was to do that, you'd be taken to the payment screen where they can enter in their credit card information. I don't have a credit card to actually play around with right now, but if I was to select process payment here, you would then see that transaction saved here in the received payment screen, and that as always synchronizes with QuickBooks. So back into the portal here, we'll just go back. Now from this same screen, we'll just select this invoice again so you can see what it looks like. You can then also select to pay different invoices or all of them at the same time from the home screen. So from here, it'd be the same thing. You'd click the Pay Selected button, take you to the payment screen, and this would add up the totals for those invoices, and you'll see here now that the total for those ones were 20. So you can make payments for a group of invoices or transactions. And now in the home screen, you'll see that you can actually pay off the entire balance, or again, select a group of invoices to pay. So it's the same thing. It'll take you to the payment screen where it will just fill in the amount for you. Now let's go back to that invoice we had here. And let's say this customer wanted to ask a question about this invoice. They can now go here. It'll take them to the customer service tab and start to create a case for them. So we can go, what is this invoice for? And then hit submit. This will email out a record of this case creation to the customer. So back in my inbox here, I should see that I created this as a best for you customer, this case asking the business what this invoice was for. Now back in method, the admin of the portal, which I'll show you later how to set, is notified via email as well that a case has been created. But when already inside the account, you'll see in the call center cases, if I just do a refresh here, that a new case, the case I just created, popped up in my active cases. So now I can select. I can view what the customer was asking. So what is this invoice for? I don't remember. I can answer. It's our conversation last week. And if I know that I'm going to be closing the case or resolving it with this answer, then I can select to close the case. So for this activity, I'm just going to say that I'm sending an email out. I can use a template. I'll choose this one here. And then I can add the activity. So this will save in the method CRM the activity per the case as usual. But now the customer will also receive an email that looks something like this to show that we responded to their inquiry. And back in the actual portal, if they want to actually see a record of the cases, if we look at their closed cases, they'll see that that case is now under their closed ones. And you can look at the history of how that was resolved. And if they select their open cases, they'll see that they still have one outstanding. And they can view the details of that. So if we go back to this closed one and say they are unhappy with that answer, they can choose to keep it open. So they'll say, I think you are mistaken, and they can keep open the case and submit it. So now, as a business owner, you should see that case pop up. It's set back to in progress, letting them know that the case hasn't yet been resolved. So I'll take you now to the other areas in the portal. You can also now edit profile information. So if you go here under the Home tab in the portal, you can go to Edit Profile, and you no longer have to chase your customers around when they change their info or add contacts. They can just go directly here, add a contact. We'll say Ron, best for you. Add a phone number and go save. So you should see it pop up here in the listing. Right there, and back in method, when you go to the contacts for that particular customer, you'll now see that new contact under here as well. And that's everything there is synchronized as well, so when you make changes in here, your customers will see that as well. And they can also add in their social media contact info if they have it. And here's where they would make changes to their address if need be. So we'll just go back home. And the bottom area here are just links to the other areas in the portal that we already went to. I'll just go to the solutions. We haven't seen that yet. So these are solutions that, as a business owner in my solutions area, that I've made available to our customer base. So they're not tied to a particular customer. They're just ones that everyone can see and that might help resolve common problems. So all customers, when they log in and go to the search solutions area, they will all see the same set of solutions that we have here. And then they can choose to try to search for a particular topic, and they can just use a grid as in our other screens. Okay, so one other thing I was going to show you is the other way that you can, so we access the account there through the email. What contacts can also do is create their own login. So as you can see, like before, we do have a way for business owners to post on their website a link to the portal login. So from their website, they would click a link that brings them to this area, and obviously you'd have your own logo here as a business owner. And now a contact can then register for their own account, portal account. They would have to specify a username that they want, as well as an email, and that email has to match the email that you have for that contact in this field here. So right now, because only the main contact customer, best for you customer has an email address, they're the only one in this company that can actually create a portal account right now. Everyone else, if they had this setting here set to no, then they would be able to still get emails, for example, like the invoices, and be able to access the portal account through the MI URL links that are put in the email. Okay. So back to our presentation here. I'm just going to go over the cost. So as I said, the first 500 sessions are free per month. One session equals 5 minutes of activity. So on average, that gives you more than 80 minutes a day for combined customer portal activity. And that's for the vast majority of users, this would be a free service because that's usually plenty of time for your customers to change their address, make payments, get in and out pretty quickly. What you don't have to worry about is idle time. So if your customer logs in, makes a payment, and doesn't log out, and they just leave the window open for the whole day, you're not charged for that, or that idle time in between doesn't count towards that 500 sessions. So that's something to note. So some tips, some things you'll want to have set up before you start using the portals are your email preferences, the payment gateways, the admin for the portal, and obviously the link from your website to the portal. And just to remind you where those things are in your method account, just close out of here. So if you go to customize my account, you'll want to have your email preferences set up here, as well as your payment gateway. And then in portals, there's the link that you want to have posted on your website. And if you go to the edit for the portal, the key field to note here is this last one, the administrator of the portal. This is the designated user who will be assigned cases when a customer creates a case. This user will always be the one assigned to those cases as shown here, or not here, but here, the assigned to field. Okay. So again, if you didn't get a chance to ask any questions during the webinar, you can always post them on the forum. This recording will be posted shortly. And that concludes the webinar. On behalf of Michael and myself, I'd like to thank you for attending, and we'll see you soon. Take care.